Hi, this is Mike from thesubstream.com with an episode of Watch This Instead for the week ending the 17th of April, 2009. This week, I want to talk about the body swap comedy 17 Again. In honor of the film and the fruitful if tired genre, I've switched bodies with Raya. We touched a skull together. What we do with these shows is I go to see a big-budget, major movie that's not very good and recommend something that you could watch instead at home that's similar but better. And usually, when we're scheduling these things, and I know this is unfair and not objective at all, but we can say, well, we're going to see Street Fighter Legend of Chun-Li in 2 weeks. It'll probably be bad, so we can probably do a Watch This Instead about it. Sometimes we're surprised, like with the Friday the 13th remake, and we have to change our plans. This week, I went to see Zac Efron in 17 Again, and while I won't say that I'm surprised the way we were surprised with a movie like Friday the 13th, I'm finding it hard to criticize this movie. It's not great, but for what it is, it's actually kind of okay. Maybe it's the sunshine, first nice day of the year, maybe it's the film, which was directed by the guy that made the smart-assy Igby Goes Down a couple of years ago, had enough sharpish, smart-assy moments to kind of almost half convince me to pay attention. I don't know. And especially when you realize that for Hollywood, movies like 17 Again are like jazz standards, well-worn, familiar routines that they take out of the drawer, shake off, and run through again and again. In this case, it's the crazy body swap comedy. And when you compare 17 Again and its mystical whirlpool vortex to, say, George Burns and Charlie Schlatter in 18 Again, or Judge Reinhold and Fred Savage in The Magic Skull and Vice Versa, or Lindsay Lohan and Jamie Lee Curtis and The Hexed Fortune Cookie and Freaky Friday, or the original Freaky Friday, or Like Father Like Son, or The Hot Chick, 17 Again starts looking better and better. There's a couple funny subplots. Sterling Knight is good as the bullied son of the main character, played by Matthew Perry, who thankfully is not in the movie enough to Matthew Perryize it, and his wife is played by Leslie Mann, who can and does single-handedly improve any film she's in. And Zac Efron is charming and handsome. That being said, he's so remarkably Disney brand edge-free that, while he's pretty good at selling being a sex-phobic, depressed 38-year-old schlub in a 17-year-old's body, he never comes close to saying anything meaningful about the American teenage experience. It's a slight variation on a very old, very well-rehearsed theme, and it doesn't really do anything new or revolutionary or that special, but it does have a couple of laughs, and it manages to not be as bad as any of the movies I mentioned earlier, which you should not watch instead, I guess. The best the body swap thing has been done is Big, I guess, which was the beginning of Tom Hanks becoming Tom Hanks, and is a legitimately great classic film. And if you haven't seen it, you should tonight, today, even if Tom Hanks isn't as handsome as Zac Efron. But I don't know, it's 22 degrees outside, I'm inside Rao's body, and he's more handsome than me, so I'm finding it hard to be too hard on 17 Again. Bye. Bye, see you next week. Was that good? Okay.